What's up, you guys? Anthony here, back with a good mic, so my audio should be fine today. And yesterday I released a training inside of my private group called Building a 100K per month creative system, and I've decided I'm going to basically release the whole thing to my YouTube audience for completely free. So don't worry, you don't have to pay to get access to this. I'm just going to teach you everything that I did inside of this training anyways. So without wasting time, let's dive into the video. And this is going to be one of many videos where I teach you how to make 10K a day image ads. So fuck UGC, and let's dive in. All right, so the first thing you need to understand and master if you want to make 10K a day image ads is one thing that we're going to build the foundation of our marketing on, which is desire. Okay, and desire is essentially the thing that people want to get by using your product. And it's a very simple multi-step process for figuring out what that is, or in other words, why are people buying your product in the first place? What transformation do they want to achieve? What outcome do they want to get? This is how you discover that. So you start first by you take a product and then you list out all the benefits. Okay? So everything, in other words, that the product can do for a customer. So I'm just going to use the example of this product here, which is a all-natural skincare product. It's essentially an anti-aging cream, but its main unique selling proposition is that it's made fully of natural and organic ingredients, so no chemicals. As you can see, there are things like beeswax, Norwegian sea buckthorn, whatever that is, naturally occurring vitamins and minerals and all that kind of shit. So it's basically anti-aging cream, but all organic, all natural, right? So I'm going to list out every benefit of this product and everything that it can do. So for a product like this, it might help with wrinkles. Okay, it helps with, what is it else? Dark circles. Okay, and don't overthink this. Just write down literally everything that it can do. We're not trying to be super structured, or this isn't meant to be super complicated. You literally just write down everything that it can do. Okay, so let's just come up with one other thing. So we've got wrinkles, we've got dark circles. Is there anything else that it says? Boosting collagen, natural glow. We'll put that, just glow. We'll say collagen booster. Just put a plus there. And then let's do one more. Let's say moisturizes, okay? Again, just pick everything that your product can do, okay? So write down everything that your product can do and just keep going until you run out of stuff. Like literally you have nothing left to write. So we've got wrinkles, dark circles, glow, collagen boosting, and moisturizing. Now, here's how you get the mass desires that each of these solve. So Gene Schwartz basically says, you list out everything your product can do, and then you match that to already existing desires on the market, and then you prioritize the desires based on 3 criteria. This is directly from Breakthrough Advertising. So those 3 criteria are going to be urgency, intensity, and then another thing he calls degree of demand to be satisfied. So we'll just call it how badly do people want it. Bear with me on this handwriting. I know you guys follow this channel primarily for the beautiful presentations anyways. So the 3 criteria for any mass desires: urgency, intensity, and how badly do people desire it. Because every product can appeal to multiple mass desires, but it's about choosing the most powerful one. So if we just use these criteria, urgency, intensity, and how badly do people want it, like the way that Schwartz describes it in the book is basically people want to, the difference between wanting to eat a really fancy meal and the difference between that and starving, right? And just wanting, you'll eat anything, right? So if we look at some of these problems, we're going to see a lot, some of these are more urgent and have a much higher desire to be satisfied than others, right? Like if you think about, if we just compare how badly do people want to get rid of wrinkles versus something like boost their collagen or versus moisturizing, right? Like is this an urgent desire that people have to be more moisturized? Maybe, right? Is it intense? Not really. I mean, I'm not walking around like, fuck, I'm not moisturized, right? Or I'm not like, fuck, I can't go to the club, man. I'm not moisturized, you know? So it doesn't really have intensity and degree of demand to be satisfied. I mean, how badly do people want it? I mean, people want it, but it's not like if I'm driving, I'm going to pull over to the side of the road so I can moisturize, or it's not going to stop me going about my day. I might think like, oh shit, when I get home, I should probably put some moisturizer on because I'm dry as fuck, but it's not really going to impact my life, right? So in that sense, you can already eliminate moisturizer as a primary mass desire that we would want to target for this product. And you can kind of do the same for the rest of them, right? And you just go through the list and all the benefits. I only have 2 here that I think, or even 3 that I think are just not really relevant or don't really, there are other desires here that we have that have more urgency, intensity, and degree of demand to be satisfied. And those are really going to be wrinkles, dark circles, and glowing. Again, just ask yourself that question. Achieving an insane glow, right? Like urgency, intensity, how badly do people want it? Most people, right, if I would presume, these are going to be the top 2 that stand out in terms of urgency, intensity, and degree of demand to be satisfied. So, which is great. Now we have 2 desires, right? And the way that you phrase this is now that you've, by process of elimination and those criteria, you now have desires that you can actually use as the basis for your marketing. So we're going to just type in, I want to get rid of wrinkles. Okay. That can be one. And then you might have a second one that's, I want to get rid of dark circles. Okay. And so we haven't even had to do any research just yet, right? We haven't even had to do anything complicated. All we did was break down our existing product, which is literally what Schwartz says to do in the book, actually, if you read Breakthrough Advertising, which is start with your product, list out everything it can do, and then choose the 3 to 5 most powerful things that it can do based on those criteria, and then use those to create the mass desires. So these are what I would classify as logical desires, okay? So these are the things that your customers want the product to do for them, right? This is what they will tell their friends they're buying the product for. Now, even this is not yet what you want to solve or you want to market or advertise in your ads, because this is what the customers want logically. But logic doesn't motivate buying decisions, right? Logic is how we justify buying decisions, but 95% of purchase decisions are made through emotions. So we need to find from the logical desires then what the emotional desires are, meaning why do these people want to get rid of wrinkles? And the connection between these 2 can be illustrated like this. Okay, so the question, or the phrase rather, so that I can, is the bridge between the logical desire and the emotional desire. And the answer to the emotional desire, that is what you want to market. That's your mass desire that you're going after. The logical desire is just the problem that you're solving for a customer, right? That's the surface level. But what motivates the buying decision is the feeling that someone associates with this particular logical desire. So I want to get rid of wrinkles so that I can. If we just line this up like that. And this is where research comes into play. This is where things like Gemini come into play, doing deep research. What I would recommend you do is you get 3 to 5 logical desires that your product can solve, because maybe you have a product that can really solve multiple problems. Get the logical desires, and then use Gemini to do research into the emotional desires for each of those logical desires. Just ask it very simply. I have these 5 logical desires and problems my product solves. I want to do research on this particular avatar and demographic. Let's say it's women who are in their 50s, to understand what the emotional desires are for each of these logical desires. So you can figure out why do women in their 50s want to get rid of wrinkles? Okay? What is their ultimate dream outcome? What is their current situation? What have they tried before in the past that has failed? What are their ultimate hopes and dreams out of life beyond the product? Answers to those 4 questions will tell you what the emotional desires are. And they're going to look something like this. I want to get rid of wrinkles so that I can regain intimacy with my husband. Okay? And that is something, right, that is a little bit more embarrassing to say out loud, right? You probably wouldn't admit that to a friend. And that is kind of one of the criteria for an emotional desire. Number one, it needs to be feeling based. And number two, it needs to be something that is almost embarrassing to say out loud, like something someone would admit to themselves, but not to anybody else, right? Or something that someone would admit to a friend at 2 a.m, but nobody else. Those are the true emotional desires. So I want to get rid of wrinkles so that I can regain intimacy with my husband. And then there's a second layer to that. If we just do this, what they tell their friends. Okay. So what they tell their friends, and then you have this like the second layer. We're like building all these layers in here. So what they tell their friends, and then you have what they tell no one. Right. These are the secrets that they'll go to the grave not sharing with anybody. And that is, like, I want to regain my emotional desires so that I can, or so that, rather, like, my husband too ugly. And you can literally just keep playing this tape over and over again because I'm tired, or I'm scared, insecure of being alone forever, right? And that's the deeper that you go into this, right? The deeper that you go into this, the more emotional that you can get, and the more clarity you get around what the true motivation behind the purchase is, which you can then reverse engineer into your long-form copy and your native images. So what most marketers are going to do is they're going to market, I want to get rid of wrinkles, which is not what you want to do. You want to focus on the emotional desires, right? Which is what is basically, why do they want to achieve this? Like, why do they want to solve their problem in the first place? Okay. This is why they want to solve their problem. Like, what is the outcome beyond the problem they want to achieve? And then what are the emotions that motivate them achieving that outcome, right? Why do they want to regain intimacy with their husband, right? Because who wants to feel ugly? Who walks around like, yeah, my problem is that I'm just too attractive. People just want to have sex with me all the time. It's just tough. I wish no one wanted to have sex with me because I was so ugly. Right? Like, who says that? But that's the truth, right? With the emotional desires, right? This is what people are not going to admit to you, but this is how they're feeling, right? Someone who's buying a product that wants to get rid of wrinkles because they want to regain intimacy with their husband is probably feeling scared and insecure of being alone forever, or scared of their husband leaving them, right? And this is just one instance of an emotional desire. It could be like, instead of regaining intimacy with my husband, I want to feel confident in public again, right? And there's going to be multiple emotional desires. So what I would say is, for every logical desire, so if you have one logical desire, put one here, get 3 emotional desires, get 3 different motivations, emotional motivations that you can test in your ad account. And then just make sure that you can, with each one of these emotional desires, pair them to, I guess we'll change this. This is maybe more appropriately like a feeling desire, right? You have like an emotional desire and then a feeling desire. Like, what is the actual feeling itself? Is it shame? Is it embarrassment? Is it scared? Is it fear? Scared and fear, kind of the same thing. That's what you want to focus on. And that's the feeling that your copy should elicit from your customer, right? So from the surface level, your copy is going to solve this problem. It's probably going to describe a situation like this, but then the feeling that you communicate is somebody who is successfully, escaping this feeling, like somebody in your copy who is scared of being alone forever, and then through your product is able to alleviate that feeling, achieve the emotional desire, and then achieve the logical desire. Now, if you want to lastly lock this lesson into your brain and solidify everything with some visual examples, I want you to take a look at the brand, the Skincare Magazine or Olavita, on the ad library or any spy tool of your choice. And I want you to find their ads that are showcasing men and women together. Okay, let's see. I know they have 1 or 2 in here. That's a really good ad. Wait, yes, I wore red lipstick to his funeral. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to see. There was one. Okay, here we go. Let's click on this ad. find the ads of the men and women that are together, because this is an absolute masterclass in talking about emotional desires and leveraging emotional desires. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's not the one. All right, I think I found it. So this is an ad that is a textbook example of how you should be thinking about desires in your marketing. So again, we're not targeting logical desires. That's just the problem that we solve. We're targeting the true emotional desires, the true dream outcomes that people want to achieve by buying your product, and what feelings do they want to move towards, or what feelings do they want to escape. So this is a really good example. This is a brand called Olavita Skincare. They sell a anti-aging cream / product. Pretty standard, typical stuff. And take a look at this ad that's been running for the last week. At 61, I married a man 15 years younger. Here's how I, quote, caught him, right? So, ladies, I never imagined I'd be writing this story. 6 months ago, I was that invisible woman at the grocery store. At 61, I'd resigned myself to being alone forever. Then, this is masterful. Then my daughter insisted I try this breakthrough serum her dermatologist recommended. I rolled my eyes at another expensive cream that wouldn't work. Blah, blah, blah. Those deep lines were softening. My skin had this glow. By month 2, strangers started complimenting me. Then I met David at the bookstore. When he asked me out, I almost said no. Sure, he was just being polite, but something in his eyes told me he genuinely saw me. Now we're married, and he tells me how beautiful I am, right? Ladies, if you're feeling invisible, if you think your attractive days are behind you, click below to see the exact solution that gave me my second chance at love and life. Now, what did we just break down in this video, right? Logical desire, this product solves, is to get rid of wrinkles. Emotional desire is not even regaining intimacy with a husband. It's feeling attractive again, right? It's feeling attractive again. And that is just kind of the emotional desire in and of itself, right? Like just feeling attractive. You don't really need a feeling desire to go after that. But hopefully you can see how these, or this particular ad, perfectly leverages this concept of marketing to emotional desires. Notice that there was very little selling, if any selling, of the product. In fact, there's very little description of the actual benefits of the product. Like, all she says is something shifted, those deep lines were softening. That's like, there's no like, oh, the wrinkle pierced my skin and rebuilt the collagen layers step by step. And because the collagen layers built, it added more hydrogen, and that led to a firmer, plumper skin. It's like, no, those deep lines softened, my skin was glowing. And then in a couple months, strangers just could not stop complimenting me. So it's all about the outcomes, and it's all about the feelings. And by the end of this copy, this is perfect. Ladies, if you're feeling invisible, if you think your attractive days are behind you, click below to see the exact solution that gave me my second chance at love and life. So guys, if you want to make thousands of dollars per day with a branded dropshipping business, I don't want to say, actually, I'm going to redact that statement so I don't get demonetized. But if you want to make image ads that can scale to thousands of dollars per day with your branded dropshipping business, then this is the foundation. This is what I just released a lesson on, which is desires and understanding desires, and how to figure out not only what are the things that your product can do for your customer that they care and give a fuck about, but what do they actually want, and what feelings are motivating that want, either positive or negative, which you can then reverse engineer and leverage into your marketing to be able to create ads like this that speak to those feelings, that motivate them to read your copy and motivate them ultimately to become a customer. Because if you can do that, you're going to significantly stand out compared to the 99% of dropshippers who are ripping Canva static image templates and ripped UGC, because you're creating ads that are exactly aligned with making your customers feel understood. You know their pain points, you know their feelings, and you present your solution. And when you do that and you present a solution to them, it becomes the only logical next step for them to take. And when it's the only next step for them to take, and if you can do that across multiple thousands of people, that is how you scale to thousands of dollars per day. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content as always. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Again, stay tuned for the videos coming up this week, because I just released this creative strategy system inside of my school community, God to Ecom, as part of my new module, which is we're really good at getting people to $1,000 a day, $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day, but we're trying to break past that. This community is evolving, and so I launched module 4 yesterday, but I want to keep giving the sauce to my YouTube audience, because why the fuck not, right? Why not? So I'm going to be doing basically a bunch of videos breaking each one of these lessons down for you guys so you don't need to buy a course to get access to the sauce. All right, that's it for this video. Drop a comment on any videos you want me to see, you want me to make next, and I'll do my best to make them. Peace.